I'm gonna tell you right now, that pool is so shallow.
Mm,
The salary in that range would dog a software developer
yeah.
because there's not a lot of them out there. There's still a software.
What's going on, Cash Crew? We are back with another episode.
I was very interested in your nonprofit work, and where do you see the intersection of technology and your nonprofit
Yeah.
work, and where does that coincide? Where are you seeing opportunities? All of
Okay.
that.
So I recently just got accepted to the executive board of directors for iThrive. And iThrive is a non-profit that is providing vision care to children of St. Louis and Illinois and surrounding areas.
Awesome.
Doing fantastic work. I actually ran into that non-for-profit through Greater St. Louis, used to be SLBDI, the fellowship program, which is an excellent, fabulous program. Shout out to Trizette Dixon. But fabulous program. So the other thing that I'm doing right now is I'm on the board for St. Louis BDPA, which is like Black Data Processing, something like that.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
But BDPA is a technology organization that is trying to expose young people to. I would love to investigate that and see if there's anything further. My reach in St. Louis is not what I think it is,
Gotcha.
but people tell me it's better than what I think it is.
Yeah,
But
it probably is.
Just for you, I actually used to work for a nonprofit called Empower. They do entry level IT training for ages 18 to 25. I think they push it up to 30. And that's a great organization. Just get like tech fundamentals. They also do A+ things of that nature. And then secondly, there is a company called Cyber Up. And they actually train individuals to get a Securities Plus and then one additional certification as well. And they also do job placement as well.
okay.
So those two organizations, Proscolis is a good organization as well. But those three, they do job placement. So a lot of their outcomes are based on how many of their individuals that go through the program get placed.
Okay.
So which is great. And I know other organizations that differ in how they measure their outcomes. But that's good because like if you get in this program, we're going to give you an opportunity if you.
That's cool.
choose to.
That's cool. My company has something like that. Evernorth has something like that. It's called Tech DP, and it's basically it creates an avenue for young folks to get into technology. So you'll be able to get the program in there and things of that nature, straight from on the job training to some degree, right?
Mhm.
Come with some level of experience. I definitely see that out from a technology perspective is, I nothing against software developers or things of that nature. And I don't want to say the market is saturated because I don't think the market is saturated. I think there is a lot of good developers out there. But the field that I am in, that's my bread and butter is PLC programming, electrical engineer, computer science major could help, controls engineer. But we're talking about people who can actually do things and get automation to work.
Yeah.
Get a robot to go pick up something and put something somewhere, get a conveyor to run. That stuff is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And there's no advertising around that. It's a missing thing. And the software developers of today, it's relatable. So it's a whole field that's completely not tapped.
So you're tapping into advanced manufacturing, basically.
I'm talking about industrial.
Oh, industrial.
Yeah. So I'm talking about, it's not just manufacturing, it's process. Like at my company, we don't make anything. But if you go to my job, it looks like Star Trek. There's robots and conveyors everywhere. We trying to have equipment run and not have anybody touch it at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it certainly is advanced, and we're going to find ways to be able to use ML and AI and things of that nature. But we're doing things like vision, and there's so much automation opportunities out there that people don't even know about.
So, what if you were an individual? Let's say you're somebody who's you're in the early 20s and you want to get into that opportunity that you talked about.
Yeah.
What are some
If you
avenues
wanted
for
to
that?
become a PLC programmer, there's a couple ways that you can do it. One, you can go to school and become an electrical engineer, and they might show you that. They may not. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the school you go to, right? Like if you go to SIU, you're probably okay. But if you wanted to become a PLC programmer, you could go like Udemy
Okay.
and learn how to do that yourself. You can also do it if you learn like C, it allows you to be able to, skip some things and be able to program. But you won't be able to troubleshoot to the right level. There's something out there called ladder logic, which has been out there probably, man, ladder logic's probably been out there since the 70s.
Gotcha.
It's like mainframe. It ain't gonna go away.
Yeah.
But ladder logic allows a engineer to be able to not only write the program, but troubleshoot the program when the program has problems. And it's the form of ladder logic, it looks like, lines and pictures and things of that nature. It is crude in its way, but it allows you to troubleshoot effectively. Now, you can write the code in normal code, but ladder logic is a completely different thing. And I would say that you probably want to learn both of those and become proficient. And if you can learn how to program and program effectively and learn the right structures of programming, good program discipline, oh boy.
Good labeling, good markdowns, good structure.
Yeah. I mean, especially if someone can teach you.
Yeah.
And, especially if you learn the basics, I can get in there and have somebody teach you. And then they can turn you into a machine. The next thing you know, you call your own shots, you write your own tickets.
Awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
good deal. I feel like Jimmy is getting everything.
It was kind of nice. So do you got any like cheat codes in mind? Like what are some cheat codes for someone looking to get in this industry and in the field?
Yeah, I think, you have to want to be a PLC programmer or electrical engineer that's industrial. Basically in the end, you say, I want to be able to control equipment, robots, conveyors, process controls, levers, pumps, this, that, the third. And I want to be able to just go to a computer and turn it on, turn it off, make it do whatever I want to do. This is not software development, right? Because software development is the front end and the back end is still something you can't physically really touch. But this is the enablement of automation, right? This is the stuff where you see if you go into like a manufacturer of like Honda or Nissan, you see robots that move cars around and move parts around. That's automation, right? And that's leveraging a whole different forefront that's been around for probably 50 years, and no one is really talking about it because they just didn't know that there was a completely different field.
Yeah.
It's not just, I'm just going to hit a button and it's just going to go. No, somebody got to program that thing to do that. Somebody has to create the end of arm tool, the gripper, or the suction cup, or whatever it is to be able to go and do whatever it is you needed to do. And my team does that, and they do it very, very well, but we don't have enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
I think this would be a great opportunity for a tour, and especially exposing like organizations like Empower, like individuals who are coming out of that too. This is another avenue that you can go down. Because even me, I'm like I've taught IT and been around IT for a long time, but this is really, really new information for me as well. Just like, yeah, this is an opportunity that you can go down in the blue water, if you will, right? So it's untapped, especially for our context. I know I can think of 5 of my old alums that would love to do something similar, right? They used to work in the warehouse that just got their A+ and they would love to do that. Like that's when I was working at Empower. Right? Yeah. So I'm definitely going to make that connection. Probably going to be on LinkedIn.
This will probably be what I call a cash clip. What would you tell your 16-year-old self? Like what piece of advice or wisdom, doesn't have to be tech related, just what would you tell your younger self in that 15 to 16 range of high school?
What I would tell my 16-year-old self in high school, when I was in school, and there's so many of my friends that where we grew up at in the I will say the general area. So that means like not just my school, but a couple other high schools in the area. I was just talking to a buddy of mine who I've known since like 3rd grade. They did not talk about, higher education, right? I went to a vocational school, but his wife went to like a regular high school and she didn't go to college. And no one said, hey, these are the things that you got to do to get to college. They didn't present college as an option, right? It was never a, hey, if you get these grades and do these things, take these AP courses maybe or whatever to make it, you can get to the next level and you can decide if you want to go or not. when I went to the military, I went to the military because I felt like I didn't have an option. I even had a teacher in middle school who told me, "Hey, you might want to go join the military," right? So, and I mean, I look flashback that today and go, he might have been right, he might not, I don't know. But if I would tell my younger self, 16, 15, whatever the case may be, is that the same thing I would tell one of my employees, that you don't have a limit and no one can define that for you, right? So it doesn't, you have an option, you have opportunities to do more, to be better. And if you don't realize how much you inspire, you really selling yourself short. So I think that I never knew how much leverage and how much influence I had on other people, how much of an inspiration I could be on somebody else. And if you once you take that and realize you have that responsibility, you're gonna push yourself to the next level every single time. So, I when I say I didn't finish school, it's not like I didn't try, right? Life got in the way. I was already working, and when you start working at 15, 16, you're making real money and doing things that adults are not doing. You kind of realize like this might be where I fit better, right? So, but if I was 16, I would just say, look, man, you have a lot more opportunity if you go and really, really sacrifice some other things and really figure out how you're going to be able to be successful instead of just getting by.
Trust your instincts, right?
Mm.
I think as an adult, I didn't get to my mid-30s until I realized that the things that I think, the plans that my desires, the plans that kind of like the higher power put inside of me, are really speak to my personhood and who I am as an individual. So a lot of it, what I say to my younger self is trust your instincts, take advantage of opportunities. I think very similar to you, I didn't go to college, right? I started working early, started working at Ameren early, got burnt out early.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't find my purpose until I really sat down and started listening to other people's opinion, right? And listen to that internal voice. It's like, this is who you are. This is how I made you pursue this. And that's where I found my real success. That's where I found my real joy and purpose. And also comparing that with what are the opportunities around me and how can I take advantage of those while also knowing myself. So still a journey. I think we're always on that journey. But I would tell my 16-year-old self, trust your instincts. Look at what's around you, what are the opportunities around you, take full advantage of those things, and always keep growing. Always stay flexible. Always stay resilient. What the things that you've been through is not ever going to overwhelm you. It's going to help you thrive.
But yeah, Cisco, hey, shout out to Jim Elkins. Like I ran into him about a year or two ago, and I wanted to let him know, like, man, you did a great job. Like, we gave you a lot of crap, and it was unjustified, but you were a great teacher, and I wouldn't be where I am without you. Like, and that's just the facts. Like, he definitely saw something in me that I didn't see, and he was the one that kind of pulled me to the side. I was like, hey, bro, it's not you. What are you doing?
That's what's up.
You remember Mr. Powers?
Oh yeah, Mr. Powers. He didn't play.
He didn't play, but I told him I saw him at the Foundry.
We used to get on his nerves.
Get on his nerves. And I said, bro, like, but think about how many like lives he changed, man.
Yeah.
Like like a good educator changed his trajectory, really.
So we need to pay these educators because, man, their job is, they teach us our jobs. So
yeah, you talk about a job for love and passion. Being a teacher is hard. It's a hard job to do. I think that to have the responsibility of framing a young mind and molding a person and giving them information, the guidance to get to where they need to be in life is a heavy responsibility. And for what they getting paid for that responsibility don't make no sense at all.
But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for joining in with us for another episode of Cash Code. See you guys in the next episode.